Hey, hello, it's Aaron. Welcome to my vlog. Um, Before I get going, I do have a new platform, an old platform that I've got going again. I'm back on Substack. I'm not that happy about it, but I think it's the best I've got, the best option I've got right now. The website address is star.aaron.me, and you can go and look at whatever I'm doing on there. There's not much there right now. I took down all the old stuff. It's kind of like 2025 is another fresh start kind of thing. I did the same on YouTube. I think I've left 2024 live on YouTube, or is it and 2023? I can't remember whether I've done 1 year or two. I can't remember. But yeah, fresh start, right? No one needs to see all my archives. I don't really see that there's any real sort of need for that. I've got like something like 450, or maybe it's nearly 500 now, I don't know, videos on YouTube. And it's probably for the best that I've been taking them down as I go along. Things change, don't they? You know? So I don't really know what I want to talk about. I've just got lots of stuff, Like it's been really super intense and weird. This year's been very weird for me. I think like we're all going through this, aren't we? I think many people are still unconscious of what's going on. I don't mean like, I don't really want to get into the this and the that and the conspiracy theories and the ascension stuff, because all of that stuff is happening anyway. And as far as, facts on the ground are concerned, no one really has a clue what's going on. We've all got ideas and there's sort of evidence pointing to certain things, but we don't really know how authentic that evidence is. So, it's like, that old saying, take it all with a grain of salt or pinch of salt. It's like taking everything, the entire world, with a pinch of salt right now, a big one. And maybe that's where we need to be for a good long time. But of course, things are revealing themselves and we can see that's happening, right? But we still don't know what it really means. And we don't know what might be behind that. And we don't know what deeper truths lie underneath the truths we are being presented. No matter how factual, no matter how evidence-based they are, it's fairly easy to kind of get caught up in surface level facts and information when there's a whole bunch of stuff underneath it, How deep do we really want to go with that stuff right now? I think it's just a case of it will percolate, it will seep into our reality. It will reveal itself in time, and no mental process is going to actually hurry that along. So yeah, wow, okay. Didn't really think I was going to talk about that, but I think like it's just, I mean, for me, it's just been, these events have been happening this year, and it's been like this for, for years, right? We have these shifts and there's things happening in our lives, and those things represent the shift, or they help us shift, or, there's maybe these things happen after a shift. I don't know, like it's all of the above, right? We don't really have the opportunity or the time to really analyze this stuff right now. It's happening so fast. In my personal life, I've just been dealing with a whole bunch of paperwork all of a sudden, and it's needed my care and attention, which is a lot of energy for me to really understand what's happening and what's being asked of me, and to unravel the confusion in my mind about what is being asked and why, and what I need to do, and the steps I need to take. It's a very long and tiring process for me, but it's like a big learning curve as well. Of course, why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? All of that stuff's happening, the emotional stuff, but it's like, where's this going? What am I being led to? And I think a lot of it is about, kind of finding my own sense of safety, finding my own sense of personal stability, in my own truths about my own journey, my life, identity, all of that stuff, right? Because I've just realized how shaky the ground is, and I guess that's like a sign of the times. That's where we are. We're in this kind of shaky ground, but where everything feels unstable, but we can find some stability, through whatever process we're being led through. I think that's where we're going. I think I've had to really face my own sense of safety or lack of safety in these last few weeks and months, and in facing that, I'm finding a path forwards, or I'm learning to listen to the path forwards, to follow that intuition, to trust myself. This is another big thing, trust, trusting myself. I've realized how little trust I have in myself. Even after doing all this work for all these years, just how much is still there, how much is still going on. And this feels like a year where, we're passing through the eye of a needle and everything is super tight. And it feels impossible. It feels impossible that a challenge arises and the way through that challenge is not visible. It's like it can't be seen. There's no foresight. There's no apparent resolution. All that can be done is to take the next step, to take one step at a time. And it's about releasing that mental process, the mental control, of having things mapped out and understood intellectually in advance. It really is, I feel like it really is a time for letting go of that. And it's really hard. It's really hard. Yeah. Another thing that's been happening for me is it's all related, I guess, is staying in my own lane and not getting involved in anyone else's drama, because I have been pulled into drama recently. Doesn't really matter what it's been about. it's just sort of community drama. And don't know whether some of the information presented has been presented in bad faith by certain parties, where the facts and information have been manipulated in some way. It does feel like something's going on, that people are not being truthful with what's happening. But regardless of any of the truth of the matter, it's just not my drama. It's just got nothing to do with me. And I'm being asked, through peer pressure, not directly, but just as a community member, being asked to align in a certain way, align myself, align my behavior, align my thoughts even, There have been these huge demands in this community being made of how people should be and what they should believe in and how they should behave and all of that stuff. It's all online. We're talking about online stuff, right? But and the kind of the us versus them mentality arises from those demands and that control, where if you're not prepared to align with my beliefs, with my way, you're an enemy. And this energy feels so strong that I feel myself being pulled this way and that, and my perspective feels like it's wavering, And there came a point where something else happened, and it seems like a very strange thing, that came up in this community, and I really fell into it, like from my own way of being. I allowed this other person's truth to completely sway me for a moment, for an hour, where I was like, oh gosh, wow, this has happened and that's happened, and oh no, I really got pulled into it, and it turned out that it wasn't true. It wasn't true. This momentary drama, it wasn't true. Someone was being apparently unintentionally misrepresented. And that's the story that we have, is that it was kind of a mistake. But I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but I still got pulled into it. And when I realized what was happening, it was a really big shock. Because I kind of like have got this, I don't know, I guess this kind of like identity of being better than the drama, of not getting drawn into it. It's just another mask I'm wearing. It's just another mask. Just another layer of ego, or whatever, however you want to see that, whatever you want to call it. Spiritual ego even, all of us in spiritual community, we all think we're better than someone else. We all do. I think that's one of the foundations of spiritual community, whether that's like the kind of spiritual community I'm in, which is kind of like kind of new age-ish kind of things, but more progressive than that, see there, progressive, better than, or whether you're in a religion, whether you're a Christian or something, we all think that, we all do. it's running. It's a program that's running. A better than program. So I'm like really having to face that again. Where I thought, well, I'm kind of done that work for now, you know. And well, yeah, I guess I had, but there's more of it. There's more. Another layer. It's very humbling. It's very humbling. It's very difficult. We're learning we're not what we thought we were. We're learning the world isn't what we thought it was. We're learning other people aren't what we thought they are. So I've seen that community implode twice in a matter of weeks, and mainly because of particularly loud voices passing judgment on and influencing others, you know. If you're not with us, you're against us. If you don't think this, then you're whatever, you know, labeling, pointing fingers. We're watching you. We can see you're doing stuff over there. You know, it's incredible. And the absolute, the self-righteousness in an absolute sense. You know, this is right and wrong. It's this way. It's incredibly damaging. I've seen it rip a community to shreds. And but I think it's okay, you know, like we'll have to go through this stuff, don't we? I do. Everyone does. I mean, I say I got involved. I barely got involved, you know. But I did talk about myself through that. I did explain what I was going through watching this happen. I explained my history. I didn't talk about the people who were there we go. I didn't talk about anyone. There was no real response. I think this is the way forwards with working out our shit in community. It's centering ourselves. I don't know about what's going on with other people. I have no idea. I have no idea what they've come from, what they've been through to get to a place where they're behaving in a certain way. I don't know. I don't know whether they're being truthful or not. I don't really know. I don't know if they're being unconscious about their own truth or not. All I know is that I want to find my truth, you know? All I know is I want to center myself and speak from there. Speak from right now. Speak from absolutely now, you know? This is what I'm feeling right now. It's reminding me of my past, of what I've been through. I've been through this and I've been through that. This is my story. So I've been telling my story in community, and it's been a challenging but healing experience to tell my story aside from the drama. Somewhat, I did get involved a bit, just to say my story and to say, look, you know, this is what I've been through, and this is what I've experienced in these similar topics, you know. I have personal experience of this, right? And the response has been amazing, you know. The community really, I felt held, you know. I felt that I'd been seen. I really felt through the messages and the responses that I'd had, I really felt connected with other people. And like some of it was a bit maybe slightly patronizing, or, you know, a bit of savior energy was coming up around it, you know, and I was trying not to feel like a victim, but I had to acknowledge, you know, that the victim is here. There is a victim here, you know. We've all experienced stuff that's made us into victims, you know. But to not run with that energy, you know, the poor me energy, just to say, hey, this is what I've been through and this is how I've dealt with it, and it does really suck a lot, you know. Life is hard. We're all going through it. So I think this is what community should be about. Is, hey, I'm here. If I can be connected with my truth, you know, my deep truth, not the surface level stuff, you know, not the thoughts and the opinions, but like the story of how I got here, of what I've been through, and this is where I am with it right now, then, you know, we can find a lot of common ground. We can find a lot of connection there. We can find that we're all human and that we're all here together, facing very similar challenges, even though it seems like we aren't. It seems like we're in opposition. At least that's what a lot of people seem to think. It's just the same old story over and over again, isn't it? But it's louder than ever. Oh God, did you just see into my mouth then? I'll have to check that back. I really shouldn't do that. Oh no. Anyway, moving on. Maybe I'll cut that out. Maybe I'll cut that bit out. I don't know. I have to play it back and see. Yes, a community. And then another community I'm in abruptly ended. A paid spiritual community that I pay for. A membership thing with, you know, products and services provided as part of that community. And I think there must be many hundreds of us in this community. And there's been a lot of changes over the last kind of year or so. And it just suddenly ended yesterday. The person and people running the community kind of just sent out a message to say, we're closing it all, you know, and there'll be some kind of tail end of it where certain things will remain available for a time. But the community aspect of it and some of the products and services just are just no longer available, no longer happening. They're no longer happening. And, you know, I think a lot of people are quite shocked. I was quite shocked by it. And partly because, you know, I've paid, I think until, I don't know, mid-May or something. So sort of 2 more months. So I guess there's going to be like a month and a half that I've paid for, which isn't where I've paid for something that isn't happening, you know? You know, I paid in advance an annual fee. You know, it was part of my support system. It was an investment, you know? It was an investment I'd made to support myself, my spiritual growth and all of that stuff, you know. And it's been really difficult to just sort of have it end in this way. I don't even know if I'm really entitled to a refund of any kind. I guess I probably am. But for sort of 6 weeks, I don't know if it's worth it, you know. And you know how these companies prorate things. So I'm probably, I don't know, it's probably not worth the hassle. I think it's just best to move on, you know. It's difficult to not be angry at the leadership in this community. I do feel like they could have behaved better. They could have been more honourable with their business practice over the last 2 years, for sure. I just kind of feel angry at myself because I think the writing's been on the wall. I felt a little bit odd about renewing last May. I was kind of questioning whether I should or not last May, and I decided to let the payment go through. And, you know, I thought things would get better, but they haven't. They actually got worse gradually. And then there was a big effort to get everything going again at the end of last year around Christmas, and everything felt very energized and stuff. But then things were not, things really, on a technical side, things got really bad. And I guess it was obvious at that point that something was up. But still, you know, us spiritual types, we try and see the best in everything, don't we? You know? When my heart was saying, oh no, you know, I'm busy going, yeah, great, let's, you know, things will get better. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes things end. I think it needed to end, you know? I don't know. I joined that community because of a marketing thing where, you know, if you join right now in the next 5 days, you'll get the lowest price we'll ever do, kind of thing. And I was like, right, I'm going to do it. I really like this person. I really like being in their kind of, their community, but I want to be in this membership now. It seems like this is the best deal I'm ever going to get, you know, and all this stuff. And I joined and it was great. It was great. They're a really good teacher, but my trust in their business has sort of fallen apart, really, and I don't think I'll be doing business with them again. But I'll still be following their teachings, I think, you know. They're public ones, you know. But yeah, so like I think there's this kind of, you know, that's what really gets to me. And that's what I'm really facing in myself, is how authentic we can be, how honourable we can be when dealing with people. Can I live my life, for the most part, you know, transparently? Aside from privacy issues, you know? Aside from my privacy, can I live a transparent and authentic life? Can I stop bullshitting myself and others, you know? Can I take the masks off now? I really do feel I'm being led down that path. I feel that's a big theme for me, is authenticity, truthfulness. And I find safety there through being honest with my experience, with my story, especially in this kind of spiritual realm, this spiritual growth, spiritual community, to lay aside these spiritual masks that we have, the spiritual ego, whatever you want to call it, where we're all pretending to be something we're not. We're all pretending to not be human. And, I think it's part of the journey to, has been part of the journey maybe for many of us, to kind of walk that transcendence path, to realize, to have that kind of self-realization, the self-realization path, where you realize things about the nature of being, you realize things about a relationship with higher powers or a higher power. You realize, the kind of the illusory self, the illusory world, all of that stuff, that's still true, right? But there's a higher truth above that, and that's to come back, to embrace this, because this is what it is. Humanity, being in a body, being on a planet, is the truth. I'm no teacher. I'm not a teacher, not like that. I'm just here to tell my story. But it's almost like this is the highest truth. Because of course it is. Because that's where we are. But I don't know, I've heard so many people say it. People who have been on the self-realization path. And there's a time for disconnecting with reality, in a sense, There's a time for deep introspection. And maybe that will never end now, But I've always been introspective. I don't know what it is to not be that. But there's a time to return to the body, to life. And I'm feeling very much called to that. And to find the truth of that. To find the truth of relative existence, to be in relationship with the world, with my loved ones, with my body, with myself. To be in relationship, not to transcend any of it. Not like that. Like, that's kind of like a background process. That's just life. That's evolution. That's growth. That's happening. And maybe we do need to commit to that. Maybe we do need to pursue that for a time. But I don't think that's this time. I don't think we're there right now. And not in general terms, I don't think so. So I think that's where authenticity, truth, comes in. I want to know myself, not as some kind of spirit or something, spiritual being, soul, yes. All of that, yes, but as Aaron. I want to know who Aaron is. I want to know why my heart calls me places. I want to know where my heart is leading me, because it's leading me. I feel it. It's like this magnet in the middle of my chest, and it's pulling me to go here, to go there, to do this thing, to do that thing. And I think a lot of the time I ignore it. I think a lot of the time it's like, something else. But there's something going on, and it's very powerful, and it's right here. It's very powerful. Our hearts are so powerful, it's unbelievable. And this journey has only ever led me back to that. And it's only ever got stronger. The sensitivity has only got stronger. The sensitivity I tried to transcend a few years ago. I thought I was going to transcend my feelings, transcend my sensitivities. I was following a teacher and some teachings that weren't very grounded. I did learn a lot, but maybe I did need to go on that journey a bit. But it kind of, I don't know. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I have no idea what's going on with him now. I'm pleased to say that I haven't even looked for a couple of years now. I'm not interested anymore. I just think that we really need to find our way together as people right now and incorporate spirituality into our grounded everyday life and not escape to spiritual practices. There's always a time to meditate. There's always a time to pray or whatever we do, to have rituals, to have ceremonies, to speak to our guides and our spirits and our ancestors and whoever else. There's always time for that. It's never going to go away. I want to incorporate that into my daily life, but not at the expense of daily life. I think that's part of the imbalance of this world. It's the imbalance of religion. It's the imbalance of spirituality as I see spirituality. It's the imbalance of our relationship with God or our higher powers. Times are changing. Our relationships are being changed for us, and we're signing up for that as well. It really is it's like it's fated. It's chosen for us, but we do need to choose it as well. We do need to sort of say, I want that. Show me the way. I want it. Show me the way. Very difficult times. What are we on? 39 minutes. So, I think I'm done. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I don't know when the next one will be. I kind of got an intention to make these a bit more often, but I've just not had any kind of brain power to do anything like this recently. I've had to put all my energy into unexpected paperwork projects. And aside from that, deep self-care and purging. A lot of purging has been happening, and you know, it's the time for gentleness. The gentleness that I want to see in the world, I have to bring for myself. I really do. I really want to see gentleness in the world. I really want to see people speak more kindly to each other and about each other. I really want to see people seeking connection rather than seeking war. And I need to bring that for myself. I really do. I could be so hard on myself. I could be so harsh, so unkind in moments. It's just there, it's right there under these silly masks that we're wearing, pretending that everything's just great. It's not. I just want to follow my heart, my truth. I do realise I am a divine being, but there's 8 billion other divine beings here, and we're all kind of in a bit of a pickle right now. But we are going to be okay in the end. I just would really love to see something in my lifetime, you know? But I think this year is going to be a big one. But maybe we won't truly realise that until a bit further down the road, just how big these years, this decade, maybe even this year was for us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.